Okay, so our agenda for today, after we finish the introduction round, is I will give some status updates on the release. Then we will do a retrospect on the last quarter and a projection for the next upcoming quarter. Then I will give an organization update, which is still a work in progress, but I think it's fine just to inform you what we're doing there. And after that, I give some announcements on upcoming changes or things we maybe do to adjust our processes internally. After that, Subramanya is giving a showcase on the Selenium test work they're doing at Conflux. And once this is done, we'll start an open discussion where we could simply dive into some questions you have or something else. At any time, if you want to ask a question, simply raise your hand or type it down, and I will try to answer them or maybe post you to the right person who is able to answer it. So the introduction round already is done. So maybe I could at least, oh no, there's no more new attendees right now, so we're just skipping that one. So status update. Release 1503 is coming, and first of all, the question often comes up, why a new version scheme? So we decided a new scheme for 3 reasons. The first reason is we're simply doing time-based release cycles now, and this means that we will have a stable release every quarter, and we wanted the version number to reflect that. And the second point was that we're now reaching a stage where the time will come when we need to bump up the major version 2, and then we would start getting in confusion with the old Mifos 2.x software. So that's why we mainly decided to change the scheme, and the scheme is pretty simple. So the first number is the year, the second number is the quarter, and then we will have a service pack version and or a build status like snapshot or something like that. So typically you could expect 1503 to be the GA for this last quarter, and it's finally at the staging for final testing. Once we're done with that, we expect the general availability early next week, so that the 1503 then will be available for everybody to use. So some features that are notable in this case are that we have a now better password policy. So first of all, you could enforce the password now based on a scheme, and then you also are able to decide how long it should last. And also, which is a new feature, by the way, you're now also able to let last it forever, which is questionable, but we were asked for that a few times. So then we done some performance improvements for the batch jobs, the first iteration, and this is an ongoing work for the next quarter. Then we also had some loan improvements in the area of the administration of loan modules, and also round off and fix AMI. And beside that, we're able to make the collection sheet available also for individual loans instead of group loans. If you want to see a detailed list, there's a link, and you can simply jump to it. It's the typical changelog link we have on our GitHub repository. And later on, you also could, if you got the slides, simply go over there. So are there any questions so far about that? That's good. So this is just a short review about the Q1 and what we accomplished. So as you can see, we were pretty good in this way. So the core team was planned for 6 major development tasks and completed 5, sorry, and 1 is still a work in progress. but should be also done pretty soon. Then the core team tried to write some specifications, which, given the fact that we're in an internal restructuring, didn't really find the time to, so they're lacking currently. Then partners committed to 5 major points, where 3 were completed and 2 are still a work in progress, but are expected to be in pretty soon. Then volunteers, we hope that we could have 2 tasks done by volunteers, but it looks like we weren't really able to engage people there. So we decided we only have 1 work in progress, which is nearly done. So we're talking about 40%, and 1 is not started. So as you can see, in total, we're somewhere around 60 to 75% in complete and work in progress compared to what we expected to do, which is not that bad. A bit more details. So as you can see, the core team worked on improvements to interest recalculation, rounding off, concurrency, client level fees, usability features, and something which is more security related. So we're now having OAuth in place, and which is still in an alpha phase. So we're not really publishing it with this version, but we're testing it internally and will make it public available with the next version. Then the core design team wanted to specify a rules engine and self-service app, but as mentioned before, we weren't really able to get that. So partners done telecash management, which was awesome. Then we got this group-specific loan saving products fees, which was also be done completely, and the data migration tool enhancements. We're still waiting for specs for credit unions, so we're there half the way now, which is better than expected, but we're still waiting for some input from others than only what we currently have. And then we got the data tables related workflows and enhancements, which is also half the way there because it seems to be more work than expected. So volunteers, we had a huge progress on tooltips. So we had some really nice contributions there that allows us to have more tooltips in the community app than before. And we're still trying to get the apt-get deploy in a decent, nicer way. And I guess Terence is working on that more in a side effect because he's working on a way to set up virtual machines for a specific project we're running. So just some nice statistics so that we can see we're not that bad, right? So the core team really finished 92% of what we expected them. Functional specifications, as mentioned, there's nothing happened really. Partners have done 80% of what we expected, and volunteers have done 40%, which is still good numbers if we are honest to ourselves. So any questions to Q1? Okay. So our planning for Q2 is the core development team will do 8 planned features, and currently they already started working with 2 of them. The core team also will try to do 2 specifications. Then partners are hopefully committing to 6 plans, and already 2 are a work in process, so there are more hangovers from the last time. And we're looking for volunteers to take up 4 tasks, which then would make a total of 20. So we're thinking we hopefully can increase our velocity a bit from 50 to 20 tasks. So what is the specific stuff we're taking on for Q2 is, once again, data tables, because there's a lot of stuff that still needs to be done. Then we want to have a separation of current and saving accounts. Currently, they're a bit mingled. Then we're introducing floating interest rate loans, which is pretty wanted from the Indian side. Slab-based fees and stabilized SMS bridge is stuff that we're like to do, but we're not really sure that we will get them on. That's why they're in yellow. Scalability and better caching is, as mentioned, the work for enhancing the performance. And then we start working on a social performance management framework, which will allow you to create surveys and also will introduce PPI in its full featured set, including all country surveys. The core design team, which is specification mostly, right, will first of all try to find a way to design data-driven authorizations, but as you can see, it's also yellow, and also give some specifications on how to meet benchmarks. We're looking for partners to help out data tables for specific events and workflows. So as you can see, we're doing a lot in the area of data tables. Then we're hoping that we get the business rule specification and self-service app specification so far that a partner could take that up. That's why it's in yellow. And the last shares and dividends are also in yellow because we do not have any commitment there right now from a partner. And volunteers, that's all yellow because nobody really committed to it right now, but it would be nice if somebody would too. So this is mobile tab-based questionnaire and survey based on the SPM framework stuff. Then user-generated documents need a bit more of enhancements. Also, we'll try to improve data tables for surveys in general, not specifically for social performance measurement. And we're looking for a way to create dashboards that are role-based, so that if a simple user logs in, he sees another dashboard than if let's see, a management person or even an administrator logs in. So that's what we're looking for here. Any questions? Or somebody who is crying and say, I want to do this? Okay. So next upcoming are some organization updates that we're currently working on. So it's still a draft, but I just want to give some insights on what we're doing in the background and how we want to set up the initiative to be more effective. And this is a pretty simple organization chart. So as you can see, there's Craig Chalius will be our executive director as before. Edward Cable is becoming the Chief Operation Officer, so he will be in charge of everything what happens within the community and the initiative at all, right? Then we have the Director of Strategic Initiatives, which is Dana Harb, as before. Then Edward Cable will have another role, so he will be giving the community the right direction. And myself, I will act as a CTO, so I will be mainly responsible for all the technology stuff. Below that, and this is I think the more important part for us, right? So below the new position CDO, we simply set up a 3-pillar system, what we called it. So we have Vishwas Babu as the still Chief Community Engineer, who is responsible for feature development, release management, and technical specifications. Then we got the product management, which is led by Binny, as before, and he gets support for use cases and business analysis by Dana. And he also is responsible for creating the product roadmap. I, as a person, will act as the chief architect and will create architecture and design, also take care that the platform is going into the right direction, and will provide a technical roadmap, which then will be mingled together with the product roadmap. So we're in a good shape there. So, any questions about the structure? Okay, it doesn't sound like it. So a few announcements beside what we talked about, right? So what we're currently doing internally is we taking a look at our development process and decided that we need some changes. So what in the near future will happen is that we will retrofitting Jira so that it's easier for us to really start planning with it, and also giving you a better insight into our roadmap and releases so that you at Jira directly can see what's going on. Then we're currently thinking about creating something like a dev zone, so in a separate Conflux space where we put all the guidelines and policies and rules we already have and we'll hopefully have in the future, all there in one place, so that you can simply see what we're expecting, what we are doing, why we decided to choose some particular framework, or why we follow some particular patterns. And the last thing is, for contributions, we will provide better hands-on, because currently it's more like taking people's by hand directly, and we're just trying to set up a set of lessons that you could simply run through without really a need of somebody of us giving you a hand there. And then we also will help you if you get started the first time on how to design things on our platform. And at the end of the day, if this is all done, then we will definitely start enforcing our policies a bit more. We were a bit lame there in the last few weeks and months, right? And this is something we need to change, and we want to change. So I see that there are a lot of people facing audio issues. I guess that's mainly because most of you people using the web client, and it's still a bit like a pre-beta version. So maybe the next time you could simply download the client if you're on a Windows or a Mac machine, and hopefully then you will have better audio than now. So any questions so far?
I think you should put that comment about the audio to everybody so that they could switch.
Sure.
They can't actually hear.
I'll do that. So, some other questions? Okay, so if not, I would hand over to Supramaya so he can start his presentation and showcase about the Selenium test framework and what he's currently working on.
Hello everyone. Can you see the screen?
So I can see the screen.
Yeah.
Not yet.
Yeah, I see the screen.
Yeah, we can see the screen now.
So what we have done is actually me and one of my colleagues, Salma. So I am the manual testing team. So she is into the automation, and today she is not able to attend the call because of some personal issues. So I am continuing with this call. So what we have doing is first we have done the one framework for the automation thing, so that so the purpose is to cover most of the scenarios, so which we missed out in the manual testing thing. So and one more thing is so we need to cover the end-to-end scenarios. Right now we are concentrating on covering the end-to-end scenarios, so that for the business need we can automate the most of the test cases. So what we have done is we have taken the Excel sheet as the input parameter, and in which we are validating against the input and output. Both tabs are there. So the input fields are given by the user, and user means whatever I have given the input files. So it will run with the Selenium script, and the output will be validated against the uh, whatever created in the application. So with the Excel sheet. So we have used the Cucumber thing, and the other implementations. So I will show you in this session only. So what is the output we got? So those things also I will explain to you. So for this framework, what we have done is we have selected the most of the stable and less frequently changing functionalities. So right now we have taken the loan functionality, anyway, but in this in the upcoming release, the so many functionalities got added to this. So in spite of that, we have taken the loan functionality only. So in future, it will be implemented with the savings and FD and RD. So loan functionalities also, what we have done is we have done with the end-to-end scenarios. Right now we have taken, for example, creating the logging into the application, creating the loan product, submitting the loan application to the creating the client, submitting the loan application, up to disperse and repayments, making the repayments. So these end-to-end scenarios we have considered. So in which the group we have grouped the functionalities depending on the workflow. Means there are some in loans also we have so many features like tranche loan, guarantor loans, those things. So according to that we have grouped out, and we have prioritizing the functionalities for automation. So right now what we have done is, so just we started with the simple loan functionalities. So we need to implement with the interest rate calculation, those things and all we need to add. So that we are doing right now. So we have built the framework for the automation, and we are adding the test cases to that framework. So what we are doing is in the as a detailed workflow. So the Excel sheet we creating as an input, one or more, and validating against the one or more output. So for example, if I disperse the loan, I need to validate against the summary page, repayment schedule, and transaction page. So input file is the submitting loan application, approve and disbursement, and output file will be the these three: summary, repayment schedule, and the transaction page. And what here how it is working is the Spring tool run particular .java file or unit test or build steps.java for the scope. If the expected result in Excel sheet matches with the actual result that we got in the after running the script in the application, then only the display will be as success. Else it will display as failure, and it will be logged as a logged in the target, that is in the Cucumber report index.html. So there it will display as a screenshot, and then the validation will be done for each values, and the result will be displayed in the console accordingly. So what we are doing is for each cell in the Excel sheet we are validating against the whatever the actual result we got in the application. So for example, if any fees or any interest, those things. So with the exact result only it will validate. So if any mismatch is there, so it will be logged as an error. Any doubt? Or anybody has any question to ask? Okay, thank you. So what we are doing is including the calculation, everything is validated against the Excel sheet. So what we are doing is with the interest with the calculation repayment schedule table. So the interest, principal, and whatever the installment amount, everything is with that as per the calculation. They are validating. You can able to restrict the test cases which are need to. So we can able to restrict the test cases. So what are the test cases we need to run for this release, and what are the test cases where we don't want to run. So those things can be validated. So these are all some of the advantages. And error can be logged effectively with the proper screenshots, which help us to know whether the exactly test case is where the exactly test case is failing, so that we can easily identify the exact location. So this is one simple scenario I have taken, so that just to give the demo. So we have considered the following scenarios. So that logging into the application, creating office, configurable currency, loan officer, etc., creating the loan product, creating the client and activate him, and submit new loan application for that client, approve the loan, disperse the loan, and the validation. So for the above workflow, the validation need to be done during the login stage, creating the client stage, submitting the new loan application for that client, approval, and disbursement stage, and even the repayment time also. So as of now, me and Salma both are working together. So we need more people to help us. So I have uploaded in my repository. So I uploaded in my repository in the GitHub. So I'll share the link with you guys. So anybody has any questions or any volunteers, so they can contact us. So I'll drop you the mail regarding that. So now let me show you the Excel sheet. Yeah. Anybody has any questions? Michael, can you hear me?
Yeah, we can definitely hear you.
Yeah.
I guess one of the biggest things is
So
I'm sorry that most of the people.
what we are doing is in the Excel sheet. So this is the new loan input. So this is the input we are giving for the new loan. So this is the loan product which I already created. So that is we have done with the Selenium only. So these are all the inputs which we have given. Yeah. So this is the submitting the loan application, approving it, and we have another Excel sheet where we are going and dispersing the loan. And after disbursement is validating against the summary. So these are all the summary things, and this is the repayment schedule. What we got, what we have, we need to validate against the actual application, and this is the transaction. So right now I have made the only disbursement, so I am getting this entry. So if I make any repayment, I will get another entry. Accordingly, the repayment schedule, summary, and these things will get affected. So for that, I need to create another Excel sheet, another file. So here it is the Cucumber thing. Here it is the STS file, STS thing. So where this is the actual, this is product. For example, this is client test Java file. So and this is the feature files. So where we are giving the Excel sheets, what we have selected, those things, and the validation. This is for the repayment I'm telling. So this is the Excel sheet, summary, repayment schedule, and transaction. So in this particular Excel sheet, I'm validating against the summary, repayment sheet, schedule, and transactions. So these are all the Excel sheet which need to be considered while submitting approval and disbursement of the loan. And this is the property file. So in which I have mentioned the, anyway I'm running through the grunt serve, so I mentioned the URL, and these are all the paths where I store my Excel sheets. So if any after running, so this here I will get the exception. So actually what I have done is I have already run the one scenario wherein I am able to disperse the loan. So after that I got error in the summary page. So I can see those things in the index dot. Here I got. So these are all the success thing, and here I got the failure. So if any mismatch happens in the, for example, in the repayment schedule, let us say, so the installment amount is some 800. Instead, it is displayed as 800.5. So if for that mismatch, so it will display uh, the exact cell identity from the Excel sheet. So that this is in this particular row and column. So it got failed, so that I can easily identify the exact location where I got the error. So anybody has doubt or any questions?
If nobody has some questions, I maybe have some. So is there somebody want to ask some questions? And if not, I will jump in. Okay, so my first question would be, Supramanya.
Voice is low. My voice is low.
Yeah, maybe I should put the the microphone in front of my mouth, right, not above my head. Currently, you're using Excel files, right? Is there a plan to also support OpenOffice in the future?
Yeah. So we are right now only we are doing that. We started using OpenOffice because that is open source thing. So we are planning to definitely will implement that.
Okay, and my second question is, once we're a bit more stable in our changes, is there a plan to get this automated regression testing also into our build process?
Yeah, sure.
Okay.
So it will take a little bit time, means in a couple of months. So everything will get automated, and most of the things we will test with the automation only.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I think I'm good so far.
Yeah. Thank you, Marcus.
Any other questions? No, it doesn't look like. Okay. So maybe it's because all of the guys don't hear anything and are also not able to say something. Ed, do you want to say something?
From my side as well. Oh yeah, Subramanya, like, did you want to expand more specifically how, like, volunteers could get involved and where, they could assist, just so, especially for people who are listening to the recording, they can know if they want to participate, so.
Yeah.
So as you said, you will provide a link to your GitHub, right?
Yeah, I'll provide the links.
So
To Marcus, to you only I'll send it, to you and Ed.
I think what you should do is just simply post it to the dev list, right?
Yeah.
And ask for participation.
Yeah, I'll do that.
Okay.
And which are the specific scenarios you need covered next, Subramanya, where volunteers could help? Which are the functional use cases where they would next work on? Is it the savings and deposit? Okay.
Alone only we need to complete all the scenarios, right? So right now we are doing with we started with the interest calculation. So it take a couple of time to complete that itself. So then we need to take the savings and FD, those things. I discussed with Binny and Vishwas and let you know regarding the further proceedings.
Okay, so right now you would appreciate help if somebody jumps in with the loan to get all that module covered completely.
Yeah.
Okay. Thanks, Ed. All right. So let's skip to our last point for today, which is an open discussion. So if there is anything you want to talk about, this is the place for it. And I think we're happy to get some stuff in here. So right now there's nothing really on our plate because I thought we would have a bit more questions about what we talked about, but right now it's pretty straightforward. So if somebody wants to ask something, feel free. And I maybe post the same to the chat.
Marcus,
Yes?
I wanted to know about the plan for implementing the PPI index. In which version is that?
This will be in the next version, so it will be part of 15.06, right?
Okay.
And I expect to be done with it at the end of May.
Okay.
And if you like to test drive it, let me know.
Okay. And also the cooperative, that is the shareholdings for cooperatives, is that also on the cards?
I don't think so currently, right? So it's not for the next release, I guess.
Okay.
Well, yeah, and I think, Terrence, like, sort of the abstraction that the team would be working on, and it's not scheduled for the next release, is just separating out, shares from deposit accounts. And then we also have, the design of how a dividend calculation framework would work. And then we'd actually want a partner to implement that. But we'll connect you, with Dana and Vinny, because we're starting to flesh out the detailed functional requirements there, just to make sure we capture what you need there, and then Vinny and Dana can discuss where that might fit and align with, the items on our roadmap, both in terms of design and implementation that we've currently mapped out. So.
Okay.
Hello, Ed.
Hello, Mike.
Hello, Ed. Yeah, can I also be included in that shares and dividends?
Oh yeah, certainly, Mike. And is this potentially for the new customer you're working with, or?
Yes, that's
Okay.
something. Yeah.
Yeah, perfect. Well, I'll make sure that Dana and Benny will get that call scheduled and have both you and Terrence on it.
Okay,
Thank you.
great.
So if there are no other questions, I would simply end this meeting for today. Nice. Yeah.
I guess that's it.
I guess that's it too, right? So I would like to say thank you to all of you, and thanks to Supermania to show us the Selenium test framework. And I'm looking forward to see you next time. I will send out a link tomorrow to all those. No, this evening. Sorry, not tomorrow. So it's my evening, but for most of you, maybe it would be tomorrow, right? So this evening with the slides and the recording and also the notes on what we discussed here and talked about. So I wish you all a nice day, morning, evening, whatever, and see you soon.
Thank you, Marcus. Thank you, Ed.
Yeah, thanks, Marcus. Yeah. You on the
Thank
same
you.
Thank you,
page.
everyone. Thank you, Supermania. Thanks, Marcus.
Thank you.
Take
Thank
care.
you.
Thanks, guys.